Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ren Hoek, and today we're going to be doing an analysis of Spanky267's gameplay. And yeah, so here we go.
Capture the objectives.
Alright, one suggestion I'll make here real quick is that he's using a pistol secondary. I really don't recommend that. And the reason being is that you can actually use your equipment to sprint with, and you have the exact same speed as you do, running with a pistol secondary. Another thing about it too is that with a pistol secondary, you actually have to switch classes to shoot down air support, and I'm always kind of dedicated to that. It happens where like the enemy calls in like a Huey or a counter spy plane, and I'll try to shoot it down and stop whatever I'm doing to shoot that down. So the pistol rarely ever comes into play. Um, it's just such a there's almost no reason to use a secondary as an offensive weapon of any sort. It's really best suited for like an M72 Law or a Strela 3. The M72 Law is decent because you can use it as kind of like an RPG. But even then, they're really not that useful, man. The blast radius on the launchers in this game is really weak compared to like Modern Warfare 2, and you have to commit 0.73 seconds to just pulling up the M72 Law, and oftentimes that little span of time, so much can happen in that span of time that it's really not even worth bothering with. So I just use like a Strela 3 almost all the time. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the pistol, especially since it's only used for pretty much for running faster.
Shooting A.
Um, One thing to keep an eye out right here is, and not to say that Spanky wasn't listening either, but whenever you're coming off your initial spawn and walking around this Jeep, you should be listening for the sound of someone warming up a Semtex from their spawn, because oftentimes they'll throw that pre-nade from over here, usually over this little gate over this Jeep, and get like an early kill. Fortunately for Spank, he's wearing a flat jacket anyway, but it's still a good idea to kind of keep an eye out for that. And again, not that he wasn't, but it is a good idea to watch out for that.
Securing Bravo.
Alright, right here, instead of running the straight line where someone could come around this corner and be ready to aim down sight, and let's say they had Slide Hand Pro, right? Well, Spanky right now has Warlord, and what that means is that he'll have a slower. Not only will he have to pull up his gun while he's coming off that sprint, he'll also have a slower aim down sight time. If someone catches him off guard that way. So I would say he's at a disadvantage running through this hallway in a straight line like that, just kind of sprinting that way. So I would advise him, if he's going to move around, to actually go through here and just kind of I like to call it floating, where you just walk around with your gun. You're not sprinting and you're not aimed down the sight. You're just walking around. I think of that as like floating, and just being ready to pull up your gun if you need to. So I would walk through here, make sure to keep an eye on this little angle right here, and then of course when you come through, just casually walk through, and then you can go back to moving. But I do feel like he could.
Losing Bravo.
Now right here, I don't really understand this right here. I don't understand like why you would crouch, and
Losing Bravo.
I feel like if the only thing you're accomplishing by doing this is constricting your own movement. You know what I mean? Like you can't strafe as fast while you're crouched. You can't really bail on a gun battle if you're losing it. So I don't really understand like why you're slow to a complete halt and like just sort of crouch around like real slowly like that. This is another situation where I would just float around this corner and be ready to aim down sight. And I guess I'll go and mention now that I'm not a fan of Warlord in general. I think Slide Hand Pro is definitely the superior perk. It's one of the most offensive perks in the game because it allows you to aim down the sights faster when you get the pro version of it, the pro variant. So, yeah, I mean Warlord, it's good in this case. If you want to run like a silencer and dual mags and stuff, and maybe build up like a big kill streak or something. But I mean, there's no good reason that you can't run like just a silenced AK-47 with Slide Hand Pro, honestly. So yeah, I would definitely recommend using Sleight Hand Pro personally. There's almost no reason not to. All right, as you see, the map's pretty much cleared out. Like his teammates are all over the map right now. There was a teammate that's now died over there. Let's see if that happened beforehand. Yeah, yeah. Just now there's a teammate that died over there, so might be a good idea to start slowing down, maybe being ready to aim down sight or ADS. You know, in case someone pops up around the corner. I'll say. So I probably would have pulled up and kept my eyes that way instead of turning towards B.
Friendly spy plane inbound. Securing A.
Okay, now right here, alright, the team has a UAV up, and I was watching this beforehand, and I think a real good rule of thumb, whenever your team has UAV up, is to try to build up like a mental timer for whenever those sweeps go by, like right here.
Securing Alpha.
Build up a mental timer in your head, whatever you have to do to get a feel for timing your movement and your thought process with this mini map. Because what you can see on the map right now is there's about 3 enemies to his left around that corner in front of him. There's an enemy behind him, not down there, but up here. And there's also an enemy at the B flag. So right now he should be thinking about isolating his angles and how he can like force, in a worst case scenario, like a 1v1 battle where he's got a good angle on somebody. So to me, his options right now are basically to go straight ahead and be ready to aim down sight this way. Probably pull back this way so that the enemy that's up here can't come back down and kill him. So I might give some thought to doing something like that. But we'll see what he does here. And again, I think it's a real good idea to get a sense of timing that those UAV sweeps, because those are the best times to tell where the enemy is at and how you should move around the map and position yourself accordingly. So yeah, right here, I feel like if the other team had a UAV up, like that this guy, if he was fairly decent, would know to start pulling back and maybe try to take out this guy that's behind him. So instantly you should be thinking about either going back and attacking him or isolating your angle so that he can't get you by the time you attack these guys up here. So this case he turns the corner. There's 3 enemies right there. There's another enemy after this sweep coming from this direction right here. Alright. So instantly I would be thinking about, ADSing right now. Not ADSing, but just floating right now. And just strafing a little bit to the left. Because there's going to be enemies definitely in his line of sight. It's right around this corner. You can see it on the radar right there, clear as day. So he should be thinking about letting loose right now and then being ready to aim down sight and turn on these noobs. Okay, and instead he just sort of sprints forward, just seemingly, just not really aware of the mini-map, I feel like. Once that sweep was made and he saw a bunch of red dots on the map, you should always try to keep an eye for those red dots and be ready to just don't sprint into them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So instead of like kind of controlling the engagement and keeping his range, right now he's got an AR. So if the dude is a panic knifer, for example. Or if he's got an SMG, then he might be at kind of a disadvantage. So instead of like pushing up so close, I would say that he should have been ready to just kind of float over here to the left and aim down the sights and just start teeing off on it with that AK-47. I think run up to this point and then like turning around, allowed this guy to run past him, and that sort of divides his attention between 2 different angles, where he's in kind of a awkward spot right now. So I would have done that differently. Always keep an eye on where people are on the radar. And, in this case, try to keep your distance just a little bit. Just try to isolate everything as best you can, I guess.
Counter 5 lanes in the air.
So he gets this guy. and he immediately commits to reloading his gun. Now, basically, his choice is this point right here. What I would do instead of trying to shoot him down like that, you've got 13 bullets left in your chamber at this point. What you can do is just throw a stun grenade right here, and then post up behind this, and then start thinking about what's going on behind you. So, really, it's going to come down to this, where the guy's over here at this angle, and the other enemies are over here, and right here coming around the corner. It should have been a deal where he's like just posted up right here, and his enemies are isolated in front of him this way. But let's just say, for example, since he's in the spot right here, I'd say the best way to handle it would probably be to just run away. Most second chance guys will rarely ever finish you with their secondary, by the time you can get away. So since you don't have many bullets left in the chamber, and you're in kind of a bad spot, I'll try to focus on just getting out of there. So in this case, I would maybe finish them off like you're about to right here, or maybe throw a stun grenade and run away, or in my case, I'd probably just run away and try to get set up again.
The 5 lanes in the air.
So I think that's a big part of the reason that he died there, is because he was
Losing Bravo.
then moving around and
5 lanes standing by.
map, I think. So at this point, right now we can see an enemy around the corner to the right.
Our 5 lanes in the air. Our counter 5 lanes in the air.
That's all fair enough so far. Now, I thought I saw some red dots there. Hang on a minute.
Our 5
There's a bunch of enemies
lanes in
coming up on the
air.
flag. I guess whoever was close up there in front of them got most of them. But I would be, instead of being posted up right here and aim down sights, you can actually just sort of run and jump over to this piece of cover right here. You can actually even dolphin dive behind it if you like, and just raise up over this little edge right here, this little piece of cover. That's a great spot to deal with people coming through that doorway right there. Probably the most dangerous spot on the map, really. I mean, if you saw a heat map for grid like all time, there'd be so many fucking red dots like right through here, man. People die through here all the time, man. And that's why it's so good to be set up with A flag and B flag domination on this map. So yeah, right here, Spanky doesn't have any cover at all, and right here he's got great cover if he's just crouching down behind this. So yeah, I definitely would have done that differently, I think.
Counter 5
And
lanes in the
actually,
air.
took him to ADS and like just slowly ADS and walk around that corner. Like he could have probably run over to it behind this piece of cover and posted up. So I definitely would have done that personally. And actually, right here, you can see on the sweep, the UAV, that there's an enemy coming up again towards this direction, towards A flag. I understand that he's trying to cap it too, but I would stay posted for just a minute, since there's plenty of room behind him where he's safe, and just try to cover his teammate, I guess. But someone already got that guy on the radar, so it's kind of a moot point. But yeah. As far as the Claymore goes, we're selling this Claymore, instead of putting it right here, this is kind of an obvious spot. A lot of people put down their equipment, whether it be a motion sensor or a Claymore, like right here. What I like to do is to get behind this little doorway right here and just look straight down, and just plant it straight down here on the ground. And it's a much better spot, because most people anticipate there being Claymores around this corner right here, as opposed to right here. So I'll probably put it right there. And plus, you can look at your main map and tell that you're pretty much safe to go through there and plant it. There's no enemies through there or anything, so I would have gone through there and planted it personally. I can show you it's a much better spot.
Losing Bravo.
Okay, now he sees his teammate just now died over there, and he's got an AUG with the red dot, so that's a gun with fairly good range. Anytime you got optics on an AR, then it's a gun with enough range to take people out in this parking lot right here. So given the fact that there was a red dot on that UAV sweep just now in the parking lot, and what he could have done is, instead of like pushing forward wherever he's about to go, he could have posted it behind this and been ready to deal with that, and just aim down the sights and looked out for traffic going that way, looked at his UAV to see where they're at, what they're doing, that kind of thing. As it stands right now, he's kind of getting behind him, and if you see that red dot on the bottom right corner, I mean, he's in the hangar right now, but he could get around on him, and it's gonna be something to deal with later.
Losing Bravo. Velocity. Enemy spy plane incoming.
Alright, now, I don't think this is actually his fault. I checked beforehand, and I Am Reptile, the guy who just now killed him, is actually the host. You can see now that Spanky has a 3-bar connection, and this guy has a 4-bar, and he is definitely, I believe, the host. When I first started this theater mode, it spawned me on his camera, so I think he's actually the host in this game. But as far as like what happened here, when he starts getting shot from by
the enemy spy plane incoming.
You can look at his mini map.
We lost Bravo.
Tell the shots are coming from right there, so I'm not sure why he.
Enemy spy plane incoming.
I think when you're getting shot, you can tell instantly if it's a silenced weapon or if it's a unsilenced weapon. And given the fact that in this case it's unsilenced, you can always look at your mini map and tell where it's coming from. He does a good job of lining up a shot, and I think if connections were even, he might have got him right here just fine. But as it stands now, he probably better to, instead of like pushing out like that and basically depriving himself of cover, he could have stayed posted up behind this and just shot over the top of this hood right here. So it's hard to say what would have happened if he didn't do that, if he didn't go about it this way. But I would imagine that's probably a better way to go about it. Or even then, probably just get your health back. You can just kind of stay far enough away from the car so the explosion won't hit you. And just post it behind this little wall right here for a second while you get your health back. Could have also done that too. So, with you being so weak, I mean, you're pretty much like a one-hit kill at this point, and kind of dangerous to pop out like that anyway.
Spy plane ready for deployment. Friendly spy plane inbound.
I have I'm going to have to take attach to this move right here.
Spy plane
you see on
ready
the
for
UAV
deployment.
right now that there is an enemy in this area right here. You hear gunshots going off like right in front of you, and you can see the red dots on the radar too. So at this point, you should be looking to find a piece of cover to engage this guy from behind. In this case, this is probably a good spot right here to line up a shot. Is what I would do. I would probably try to push up right here. I would be instantly thinking about throwing a stun grenade and trying to stun the guy, and then just because since there's going to be about a 2-second span where you have to run up to this piece of cover, I would go ahead and throw a stun grenade over top of it, right in this little clearing right here, and just be ready to post up and try to finish this guy off. So that's what I would do. But as you can see here, Spanky just kind of runs through like. And I'll admit that I'm kind of guilty of this too. Like whenever I'm cut off my initial spawn, like I always assume that like I'm good for like 2 or 3 seconds to run free and not worry about where enemies are or the mini map. But it's always a good idea, man. Like to keep an eye on that mini map, man, and keep an eye out for enemies. So yeah, I do that sometimes too, once in a while. But in this case, you really robbed yourself of a good opportunity to take this guy out. You could have been behind that cover. You could have been posted up and ready to shoot, but you kind of run into just a whole herd of dudes here, as you can see. There's this guy over here too, coming around. I mean, there's all kinds of people. This dude posted up here. So, yeah,
Inbound.
But he watches the kill cam, and I do.
Dogs incoming.
I'll never understand why people like always think the kill cam is a good idea. Like, as far as what it says differently right here.
Friendly dogs.
You might have noticed the red dots there.
Enemy found
behind him, but as far as that ghost guy that came behind him, I mean, there's not really a lot of that. I think in general, like, this is not a good spot to be right
Track
here.
on the way.
The best place to defend people coming from this direction from is always going to be from behind this piece of cover right here, always. And so your first priority should be to focus on the red dots coming from the top right corner there, and just try to push out either this way or maybe push through here and try to clear them out, you know. But definitely, I wouldn't stay posted up right here in this little corner or whatever. I just wouldn't do it. If they have a UAV up and you're going to show up there, they're going to know you're there and stuff. So I would try to push out instead of posting up right there. Probably I was not pretty nitpicky or whatever, but that's probably what I would have done.
Friendly Huey inbound. Enemy spy plane incoming. Friendly spy
What
plane
I want to point
inbound.
out too is that Spanky's running dual mags right now. He's running Warlord dual mags, and again, he's robbing himself of the ability to aim down sight faster right now. And he has yet to come close to like run out of ammunition in this game. So maybe he will down the road, but I think clearly at this point it'd be a better idea going forward to use Sleight of Hand Pro. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. You know, I would give that a try.
Spy plane ready for deployment.
Right here. Right when you see this guy come around the corner, anytime you are left to make a choice between one or the other to shoot at as far as enemies go, you always want to shoot the guy that is looking to line up a shot on you first, because I promise you, every time that they will absolutely get you if you don't. So right here, instantly you should be thinking about going to the right towards the guy that's facing you. You know, this guy right here, as opposed to the guy that you're shooting originally. So just something to keep in mind there.
Spy plane ready for deployment.
So it's hard to say. With
Spy plane ready for deployment.
He might have gone about it the right way. It looked like he was trying to correct his aim to the other guy, but
Our counter spy planes in the air.
I'm sorry. That was actually...
Spy plane standing by.
Okay, now he knows now that there is an enemy in that hangar. You look at your mini map and tell there's someone back there. So what he could have done is, instead of pushing out this way, is to stay behind this piece of cover here. You can actually kind of strafe to your left, and this little incline right here you can stand up on top of. You'll have like a little angle over top of this to work over that way. Just sort of figure out at this point, instead of chasing them that way, you're best off to follow your mini map and try to look for the dude and just see what he's going to do first, because you kind of have to predict what they're going to do. You know, if he comes up behind this car, for example, and looks to post up, then he might have an angle on you that way. So I would try to stay back. I rarely ever push out this way if I know there's enemies that way. I try to like figure out what they're doing first before I push out. So I would have done that.
They are blind. Our spy planes in the air.
Alright. That was a good move, I think, to that stun grenade.
Losing B.
That was good, though. Yeah, pretty much, this is what I always do. I do exactly what Spanky does here every time. If it happens where I've landed some shots on a guy, but I didn't finish him, I always like try to pull away and throw a stun grenade to make sure that he's going to stay there, and his vision and his aim are going to be fucked up, you know, while you can. And this gives him an opportunity to pull back and reload if he feels like he needs to, or to try to land another stun grenade on him, you know, and try to turn on him. So in that case, once he hit him with that stun grenade, I'm not sure why he didn't try to pop out and finish the guy off. He totally could. And given the fact that you stunned him too, I mean, he's going to be out cold for like a solid like 4 to 5 seconds. So you could have easily, like, instead of having to feel obligated to throw a stun grenade right here, it was almost kind of a wasteland right here. You could have like just thrown it over there. So that's kind of nitpicky too. Okay, right here, instead of, he knows this guy's right here, and he's correct in turning this way to battle him. What I don't agree with is exposing yourself to this line of sight right here. This whole line of sight here, I mean, you can see him from like he's giving the enemy all kinds of angle right here by pushing forward those few steps into that little area to finish this guy off. So I would have, he knows there's an enemy over here to the right. I think he knows that. What he could have done is just stay posted up right here and denied the enemy that angle and taking this guy on from this angle right here instead of actually pushing forward this way and exposing himself. You'll notice he takes a few bullets there.
Enemy spy plane above. Our spy plane's in the air.
And I like the choice not to reload there. I think a lot of people would, a lot of nerd players would have decided to reload right there, back here. But I like the choice to not reload and try to use the remainder of the bullets on this enemy here. So.
Our spy plane's in the air.
All right. Now, instantly, you can see on your radar that there are enemies coming through right here. So you should go and start thinking about trying to find a piece of cover to get behind. It'd probably be best to go back here and get behind the spot. But this isn't a bad spot either to just crouch and post up behind this box. That's not a bad spot either. But it seems like right now, for example, like the red dot closest to him is right around this corner here. And it just happens he's running back that way. But, I mean, that could have been an enemy coming this way too, you know. And Spanky would have been running in full sprint towards him and giving him, you know, pretty much all day to line up a shot. So, especially with him running Warlord, you know. So, yeah, I definitely would have tried to maybe stay back just a little bit and post up behind that piece of cover. But yeah, pretty much as soon as he saw these red dots right there, as soon as he saw those red dots, he should have start thinking about floating and just being ready to aim down the sights if there's an enemy coming around the corner. What I always do is whenever I know there's an enemy around a corner like this, instead of like running a straight line this way, what I always try to do is like strafe as much as possible, because with the connection the way it is in this game, it's to your advantage to be popping out at this angle. The more lateral speed you have when you're about to engage somebody, the more it appears to them that you pop up out of nowhere and you turn on them quickly. I hope that kind of makes sense, but I would have been strafing and been floating this way and been ready to aim down the sights as soon as I saw the enemy. Keep your reticule, you know, your crosshairs like line up on this little corner here and be ready to aim down sights. The auto aim in this game is really easy. And it's super helpful and just kind of easy mode, honestly. You know, the moment you see somebody, you pretty much just press the left trigger if your crosshair is anywhere near them, and it'll automatically target them for you. So he should have just been ready to aim down sights right there. So definitely is a mistake to just run full sprint ahead through this doorway like this. There's enemies right around that corner. If he's gonna push up like that, he should definitely be ready to aim down the sights.
Friendly care package inbound. Losing Alpha.
Okay. Now, right here, what I'll do is, I haven't seen an enemy in that corner on the radar. I would try to. Well, never mind. I'm fucking wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong right now. Hang on. Okay, now right here, he knows the enemy's around the corner. He knows it, and he's got 2 stun grenades. And instead of like chasing him and kind of making this like a heads-up, like even battle, what he could have done is like right here, after he fires these bullets, he could have started strafing left. I noticed that like right now, for example, like with him being aimed down the sights and not strafing left at all, like the enemy can pop back out and turn on him and have an even chance to kill him. What he can do instead is like just strafe to the left, and throw a stun grenade in this little area right here. Once he gets that hit marker, he can start thinking about popping back out and trying to turn on this guy. or even just throw an even better stun grenade that will really fuck him up, and maybe even nade him or something. I guess he doesn't have any grenades, but yeah. Instead of popping like this, you give the guy like he knows he knows Spanky's coming right now, so I would probably try to stun him right there.
Enemy spy plane above. Dogs incoming.
Okay, now if you play with a headset, you might have just not heard the guy say "man down." He was like over here, and that's a real subtle thing that I think a lot of players don't notice. Like, there's a lot of like little auditory cues in this game that give you hints as to what's going on. Like, it might be the sound of a Semtex being warmed up from a certain direction. It can be, of course, it can be footsteps, but in this case, it was the guy saying "man down." Now, once he heard that, even without looking at his radar, he would know that there's an enemy over there, because right after he killed somebody, he said "man down," and that's an indication that it's an enemy, acknowledging that his teammate just now died. So instantly he can start looking to his left and being ready to aim down the sights towards that direction, towards the direction of that sound.
Plane ready for deployment.
So instead of challenging this guy while you're weak, knowing that the bullets that were fired at you came from
Dogs incoming.
right there, you could have actually cut to the right immediately and then tried to bank a stun grenade off this little wall right here, and then started thinking about maybe pulling back this way and lining up a diagonal shot on him. I definitely wouldn't turn this way, knowing that there's two enemies over there and possibly two guys trying to aim down the sights at this little doorway here. But whenever you're weak like that, it's to your advantage to let them kind of come to you, and like you force them into that angle rather than giving them the chance to finish you off at the angle they already have you at. You know what I'm saying? So I would have tried to pull back this way and throw a stun grenade through that, off this wall here. I think you did have time for it.
Ready to jam enemy radar. Ready to jam enemy radar. Counter spy plane up. They are blind. Securing C. Hostiles jamming our radar. All areas secure. Hold your positions. We lost C. We lost Alpha. Enemy spy plane above. C secure. All areas secure. Hold your positions.
Now, I heard that just now. I heard that. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but right here, you hear the sound of a sticky? And you hear sticky out coming from this direction right here in front of him. And once he turns the corner and sees that pretty much the only friendly that could be throwing that stick is in his menu right now. Like this guy right here, that little light bulb signifies that someone is in their like pause menu. You can kind of be weary at this point. You start being kind of weary about the possibility of an enemy being in this area right here. So yeah, be ready to. At this point, I would have been probably floating once I heard that sound.
Spy plane standing by. Losing Charlie. We lost C. Enemy care package incoming. spy plane inbound. Friendly spy plane inbound. Securing Charlie. Enemies jamming our radar. All areas secure. Hold your positions.
Okay, now here, once I saw this guy right here, instead of jumping over, you should always, before you commit to vaulting over a ledge of some sort or jumping over a ledge or whatever, you should always check the other side of it first and make sure there's not someone you need to shoot beforehand before you commit to jumping over, because that can take a little bit of your time. In this case, it robs you of a great angle to shoot this guy from, you know what I'm saying? So, I probably would have done that differently, or I think I would have differently.
Enemies jamming our
By the way,
radar.
I want to point out too, just to make it very clear, I'm totally being an armchair like video game player right here. It's impossible to say exactly what I would have done, you know, given these circumstances. So this is all just advice, and it's very much like armchair quarterbacking, you know. So you know, please don't feel bad or whatever, but definitely, I think right there you might have been able to just check before you jumped over the ledge, especially given the fact that your teammate was Captain C. If we go back and look at your mini-map, you'll know that his teammate is Captain C. They're going to be spawning near C flag, and you guys already had the rest of the flags on the map, so they now know that the enemy is capping their flag, and they're probably coming towards him. So, given that information, like, you probably want to be looking this way over here. Another thing to keep in mind too is there's rarely ever people like running across in a straight line towards this area right here. So yeah.
Enemies jamming our radar.
And right here, I'm not sure why you actually, instead of like when you hop down here and you want to finish this guy off, like I don't see why you wouldn't like keep just kind of strafe around this way while being ready to aim down the sights. Like running this way and looking that way, and then looking this way, and then aiming down the sights and stuff. I mean, you're leaving yourself really exposed to this guy. I feel like that. I just don't feel like it's really necessary to expose yourself like that, you know. So next time, you know, there's an enemy around the corner like that, try to strafe and always keep your reticule ready in the event that they're. I guess try to keep them isolated is what I'm trying to say, in front of you. So just strafe around the corner like that and be ready to shoot the guy.
All areas secure. Hold your positions.
Okay, now the moment you see this guy pop a shot at you that way,
Enemies jamming our radar.
you want to try to deny him of the angle he has on you right now. Like right now he's behind this truck, for example. Pretty much the only angle he has is in the event that you stay upright behind this piece of cover here. So what you can do is don't worry about reloading your gun, you know.
All areas
Once you
secure.
see this guy shooting
Hold your
over here,
position.
once you see him, period, and you see him aiming down the sights, what you need to be doing is immediately start thinking about laying down prone right here at this angle right here. What he's going to have to do is push up and strafe to his left, or like maybe push up to the right and try to aim down the sights that way. But what you should be doing is trying to rob him of that angle right there. You know, maybe lay prone right here and just try to throw a stun in this little clearing right here to slow him down a little bit and give you some time to recoup and reload your gun and get your health back and stuff like that. Just buy yourself some time, you know. Definitely you don't want to stay upright like this. You want to immediately right now, as soon as you see that, man, this guy knows his teammate has died, you know, and you can see him aiming down the sights. I mean, you're in serious trouble right there. You're weak. You need to reload and shit like that. You don't have sleight of hand pro, you know. So, yeah, you definitely want to be thinking about trying to lay prone right here. Okay, now right here, we come around this little pathway right here. You can hear silenced gunfire going on over there, and you can actually see an enemy ghost right there too. So once you see him pull back, it's hard to tell if he's realized that you're there or not. But in any case, if you roll to your left right here into this corner and you throw a stun grenade, if you can, over this little clearing right here. Even I think like just over here. I mean, there's a chance it might hit the tree or whatever, but it wouldn't hurt to try. Just to land a stun grenade and get a hit marker, and just go from there. So I would try to throw a stun right here. And if you're gonna push that way, then I guess push that way. But Honestly, I'm the type to stay back over by A and B anyway, so you'll rarely ever see me like on the side of the map. You know, this whole area of the map, I rarely ever even fool with. But if you're gonna push out that way, I'll try to again isolate your angle. You know, roll to your left and make sure that he can't shoot you. Again, he's posted up over here. If you the angle you're giving him right now, right there, is one where he can like be behind that rock and shoot you that way. Whereas if you strafe to your left, you can isolate him to this angle right here and throw a stun in this little clearing right here and probably get a hit marker on him. And from there you can push up. So I would have done that instead of just pushing him like this. Yeah, that was a good choice. Even though he hit the tree, I mean that was a smart way to play it. You know, you're weak and you need to buy yourself some time. So that was well played.
Spy plane ready for deployment. Losing Bravo. Ready to jam enemy radar. We lost Bravo. Counter spy plane up. They are blind. Friendly
Another thing
sensor
I
gun
want to
on
point
the...
out is that you just now hit a 5 kill streak and even run dual mags like the whole game. So you totally could have ran Slide Hand Pro this game and definitely would have fared better, I think.
Way. Care package ready for delivery. Mark the DZ.
And since you don't have a spy plane up and you're calling it a care package, probably a good idea to go ahead and call it in and probably post it behind this rock like that ghost noob was. Just so that, you know, since you're not sure if there's someone coming around that corner or not, they might, you know, kill you and then take your care package, I guess.
Plane above. Friendly care package inbound. Our counter spy.
Alright, and I guess that's the end of the video right there. I don't know what's been happening lately. I noticed that a lot, that these Black Ops videos in theater mode have been cutting off early for some reason. But in any case, I think that's plenty of time. So, yeah, that was a really long time I spent on this. But I hope it helps, and I hope you guys learned something, and I hope this improves y'all's games a little bit. So I will talk to you guys later, man. Alright, take care. Bye.